Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. Look at what you're getting. Consistent shows back to back all weekend. To be honest, I never usually stream on the weekend, but first time that I've done back-to-back shows on the weekend for you guys. But it is because the deadline's around the corner. Tuesday is the deadline day for the transfers. Today, we are going to be talking about Enzo Fernandez and today's news in and around him as well. We're going to break it down, discuss it, go through the topics, get involved in all of that. Got a little bit on Malo Gusto, Jose Mourinho as well. A little bit of news on not Chelsea, but to do with Brighton from Fabrizio Romano as well, which we're going to discuss and get stuck into as well. And on top of all of that, we're going to open up the lines and get you guys involved to have your say. But I think it's I think it's good to at least discuss what's going on, and that's what I thought we'd do. At least go through some of the bits and get you guys involved in the. Get you guys in 1 second. Sorry, I don't know what's happened to my. Get you guys involved in all of the discussions and around that as well. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel right now. On the road to 200k on Chelsea Fan TV as well. We're also on our way to 10k on YouTube, on GNA TV as well. Over 150 of you guys here. Let's get stuck into this. Enzo to Chelsea. Will it happen? Let's cue the intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another Chelsea talk show, transfer talk show. And this one is around someone that probably majority of the fan base, I would say, want. Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. And it sounds like Chelsea are going in for another bid. And we're going to break it down because we've been here before. Let's be serious. We've been here before and we've been let down before as well. So, yeah, we still need an Ornstein dagger. Yeah, we still need a Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. But, at least we can go into detail about the topics in and around Enzo Fernandez, especially today, and the supposed new offer that Chelsea have put forward to try and get the player to this club. The big question is it for now or is it for summer? And we're still waiting for more of that information to be passed across to us so that we can obviously make our own minds up in terms of what we think is going to do. But it is a good offer, and we're going to get into Enzo Fernandez and the offer supposedly that Chelsea have put forward for him as well a little bit later in the show. So we'll get into that in a second. Big up to Kai in the house. Enzo needs to come home. Tell me about it, man. I'm not setting myself up for I don't want to get too excited because we've seen it already in regards to advanced talks. Yeah, it's going to happen, and then it don't happen. So for now, I just want to see what more comes from it, and I also want to see what happens with Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano, and if we get any more news in and around it. But we're going to highlight the build-up today from this morning to now and what's been said, and obviously give our thoughts and opinions. We are going to open up the lines as well and get you guys involved in the show today, guys. So make sure that you are smashing the likes. Over 250 people already in the chat as well. So big up to every single one of you guys that are here. Let's quickly go through the chat. Big up to ML Power. It's as well. Santiago's in the house as well. KSA, man, big up to you as well. Chelsea OG, nice to see you in the house. Spider, okay. Please, please, please make it happen. Enzo is overrated is what we've got a Milan fan saying. Why would you say that, my bro? Is that because he ain't going to you? Is it because you guys are not even interested in him? What is it? I have a good feeling we're about to sign Enzo, is what Arjan's saying. He feels that he feels like Chelsea may get it done this time. Ashraf, big up to you. Anto's in the house. He says, all right, Harry. Harry is, unless he's in the chat, is not here, but big up to you, Anto, as well. The Chelsea boy, nice to see you. Spider, okay. Jem is okay. We know you're working behind the scenes to make the Enzo deal happen. Listen, getting my messages into Todd Bowley, I made it very clear that the importance of signing a player like Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, he's aware. Yeah, I wish I had that much involvement. Do you know what I mean? I wish I had that much involvement, but yeah, all right, we'll see what happens. Big up to Steve in the house. Hazy, Jim being active with the streams, respect the work. Right? Yeah, look, for me, it's just about breaking down the topics with you guys and giving our thoughts and just getting the overall feelings around the news. Are you confident? Are you still feeling a little bit like half hesitant due to the fact of what we've said, what's happened in the past with us, in terms of being set up to be let down in many ways. Big up to Diaburn as well. Who else we've got here? Fraser's in the house. He says from 120 million to 150 million. Well, again, we've read that. Apparently, Rui Costa wants to increase the release clause for Enzo Fernandez to that figure. I don't think it's something that they're trying to do specifically now. I think that's something that they're going to try and work towards in the summer. And equally, they could probably do that, especially if Enzo Fernandez is going to get another £2 million in his pocket, as reported as well. So, it will make it harder to get him, which pushes it even more. And the importance of Chelsea Football Club trying to get this deal done for Enzo Fernandez. This is the big thing. And like I said, it might not even be for now. It might be the case that we're laying this money with a player on a supposed sort of pre-agreement for summer, a bit like what we've done with Malo Gusto, a little bit like what we've done with Nkunku. Maybe we do that just to sweeten them up because we know that they don't want to lose him. So, we'll get into it more a bit later in the show. CFC Pez Lord, big up to you as well. Nice to see you in the house. Fraser, who else? We've got Henrik as well. Erin's in the house. Coldest, big up to you. Ashraf's in the house as well. Obviously, big up to Kai. Who else we've got here? CFC Jack, Daniel Knight, Gary Milburn in the house. The crew are here. The crew is here. That's all I'm going to say. The crew is here. Nearly 300, over 300 people in the chat already. 6 minutes in. Big up to every single one of you guys. I would prefer Jude Bellingham. Not for me, bro. Not for me. I think Bellingham and Enzo kind of the same in a little bit in terms of the way they play, but they're not in terms of the versatility. I think Enzo Fernandez is a much more versatile player than Jude Bellingham, in my opinion. Big up to Dana. Big up to Aaron as well. Brighton just signed. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second as well. Don's in the house. He says Benfica on the ropes right now. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Benfica react to this deal, and we're going to really get into it in a bit because it's something I want to break down to and think about and try and understand and try and bring logic to as well. We can find another Caicedo, but we can't find another Enzo. Big up to Javi CFC in the house, my bro. Yeah, I agree, brother. I think it's that way round than the other. People say, I know some people said, we've heard Alex say that he feels that Enzo is someone we can get elsewhere and Caicedo is not. I think it's the other way around for me. I think you can find another Caicedo. It may be a little bit cheaper than what Brighton want, but with Enzo, it's a very limited profile of player, and this is why maybe Chelsea are pushing and knocking on the door. They see there's an opportunity. They see that there's no clubs in and around Enzo Fernandez at the moment, and they're trying to get something tied up. The question is, like I keep saying, is it for now or is it for the summer? And I hope the news is true. I hope that we get a Fabrizio Romano or an Ornstein confirming it even more so. Obviously, the person that's reported this is a Portuguese journalist who, from what I understand, is quite highly rated anyway. But, Simon Phillips has also confirmed on it as well, which we're going to get into in a bit. I think Rui Costa is saying he wants to increase it to make us buy him now. Yeah, probably. Good point. Maybe they're trying to force Chelsea's hands. 100%. 100%. Please get the likes out. That's a good shout. Over 300 people here. I know we ain't got enough likes. I don't even want to look at the likes right now because I know we haven't got enough. I've only got 30 likes with nearly 100 people on GNA TV right now. So let's get them likes up. How quickly can we get this to 100 likes? Hit the like button for Enzo Fernandez. That's what I would say. Hit the like button for Enzo Fernandez right now. And the same with Chelsea Fan TV. Over 250 of you guys there. How quickly can you get this to 100? That's the test I'm going to set you guys right now on both channels. Smash the thumb for Enzo Fernandez. That's all I'm going to say. Smash them thumbs. Smash them thumbs. 87 million plus, a player who is the player gem. A player who is the player gem. I didn't really get 87 plus. Oh, right. Who is the player? Sorry, I couldn't read it properly. Yeah, I don't know. And we're going to get into that in a bit. Just want to make sure I've gone through everyone. Alex is a bit clever. Yeah, well, that's Alex's opinion. Big up to him. Big up to DJ Savj as well. Says, big up everyone in the comments. Yeah, and big up to everyone that's in the chat currently right now, as always. Santiago's a lot of people still coming through. Nearly 350 people here as well. Right, let's get into things. I want to start quickly with Malo Gusto because he is confirmed as a Chelsea player, and I've got a nice little video for you guys before we get into some other bits. So let's watch this quickly.
going to as high as you can, as quickly as you can. See you soon.
One more time. Reload.
Keep going to as high as you can, as quickly as you can. See you soon.
You guys want to know where to get or follow and find that video? Go and check out Chelsea Chelsea FC 365 official. And this one right here is, as you know already, CFC Pies its own podcast. So there it is. Go and follow that. CFC at 365 official to go and check out that video. Big up to him. That was a cold video. That got me moving, bruv. That was like, yeah, come on, let's go. Bit of Malo Gusto, you know. It went well with him as well, you know. It went really well with him. That's why I got into it. But I'd love to have one for Enzo Fernandez, you know. Love to have one for Enzo Fernandez. Well, big up to... I'm going to try and pronounce this name. Kigowastilisile. Sorry, bro, if I can't pronounce your name properly. But thank you for becoming a member of Chelsea Fan TV as well. Big up to you. Who is passing our right side and... Who's passing our right side? No one, bro. That's what it is. I think if we get Enzo, Georgie defo gone. We're going to talk about that in a bit. Smash them likes as always. W marketing for sure, man. Come on, that was fire. That was lit, people. That was lit. If you've not seen that before, go and check that out. Bring out the W's. Put the W's out for that video. That was a sick video. That was a sick video. That's why I got a little bit dancey, shall I say? Jem dancing on the show. Have you ever seen Jem doing a little skank? You know, just letting it go. You know, I'll do even more of a skank if we sign Enzo. If we get Enzo, I'll do a twerk. I'll do a twerk if we sign. Some of the things people are saying to me on Enzo is cracking me up. Again. Cheers, Winter Surfer, giving me some more stuff. Do you know what? I'll just bring it out quickly because this is another thing that will make me twerk. This would actually make me twerk even more if this was true. Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Newcastle United and Tottenham are all interested in signing Romelu Lukaku this summer. Well, you can take Man United out of that. I could see Tottenham doing it. I could see Atletico Madrid potentially if they lose João Felix. Bayern Munich, hell no. Juventus are in the mud. Newcastle, maybe. I can see that because they got the dough. But whatever it is, take him. Take him. I will, honestly, Todd Bowley sell him and I will take him there for you, bro. I don't want to see Lukaku in a Chelsea shirt next season. I'm sorry. There's nothing worse than the idea of Lukaku coming back to Chelsea, man. Blow that. Who are you more excited to watch and what player do you think will succeed more at Chelsea? João Felix, Nkunku or Mudryk? Well, Hazy, I hope they all succeed because they're all going to be playing together, which means that if we win trophies, if we win Champions Leagues, whatever, it's going to be a core achievement, right? So, I don't know. Who am I more excited to see, to watch? Mudryk's the more excited one, I'd say, in terms of want to see how he just lets loose in the Premier League. Nkunku, I'm excited for as well. João Felix, I'm sitting on the fence a bit. I want to see more from him. But yeah, I hope that he brings something to the team as well. And we build a bit of chemistry for him as a number 10, 100%, you know. According to reports, Benfica's board are torn as half want to keep Enzo and the other half believe Once again, so keep entering. The other half believe this is their best chance after the World Cup. We get a big figure. It's a decision they're going to have to make, isn't it? Jem, we are investing a lot in potential. Hope it pays off, but I feel we still need a leader, a John Terry type, to drive them all forward. Lee, I agree, but I think that might actually also come from the sort of the younger new era. I think when you look at the sort of leader core, I get we need experienced players and whatever, and I agree. I think the balance is important, but in terms of actually finding maybe the new John Terry or Drogba or whatever is, then I think you might have to start looking at the ones that are coming through, and the potential, and that's why we've got a scouting team. That's why we're looking to, build for the future is what I would say. Definitely build for the future. Right, let's quickly, before we get on to Enzo Fernandez, let's quickly have a look at this news in and around. This was an interesting one when it came out. I actually fell out my chair nearly when I read it. I just wanted to ask you guys this question because it came out, I think, on the weekend again. It says Jose Mourinho wants to return to the Premier League, and his representatives have let Chelsea know he would be interested in any managerial vacancy at Stamford Bridge. However, Chelsea owners intend to stick with Graham Potter. I don't see Graham Potter going anywhere till next season. I think the pressure will be on Graham Potter next season to progress, to start showing us what he's trying to do. He'll have a better squad, hopefully a better, better, especially after summer as well. This is after a summer window. We've got more time to negotiate our priorities. But, this will be based on the fact that he's going to have an actual core. So he's going to have to get the best out of him. He's going to have to get the best out of him. We're also going to have to empty out some of the depth, try and strengthen the depth. I think that's what they'll do in the summer. I think this summer will be to target the midfield mainly, get rid of people, and then analyze the whole squad as of where it is for now. Find out where the weak parts are of the team, and then look to back Potter on depth. So it might not be, 50, 60, 70, 100 million pound players. You might see that we start bringing through some more youth, or some of the youth that we bought already then become a part of the first teams and vice versa. So we'll see. But Jose Mourinho back to Chelsea. Apparently he's looking for a job back in the Premier League, and Chelsea is one of the teams that are on that list. I don't see him. If he's looking to leave at the end of this season, I don't see Chelsea entertaining that. Tottenham door might be open again if Conte leaves, but I don't see Jose Mourinho to Chelsea at the end of this season. I'd be shocked, actually. And I'll be quite frankly honest with you. I don't think I want to see Jose Mourinho at Chelsea. As much as I love him, as much as he's our most decorated manager in time, he also had a lot of torn moments with him. Moments where things got a little bit heated, a little bit toxic, a little bit of an issue. And when you look at what the board are trying to do, where they're trying to go, how they want to approach things, the type of profile of players that we are bringing in, I don't know whether the Mourinho ball is the right way. I think he would get them playing as a team, would be a lot stronger as a unit, a bit like what Tuchel did with us. But then it goes back to like the whole thing of like, how long is it to be sustained? And you want players that are coming in to feel free, to be able to play to their strengths, and play good football, sexy football, control the games, move forward, be effective, counter, like we want to see good football is what I'm saying. I think that's what we're trying to do moving forward. I don't know whether Jose Mourinho is the right manager for that. That's my overall feelings in around him. Jose broke up Mazzacard, couldn't give time to De Bruyne and Salah. No, for me, he will always be the special one. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. No, Kai, you got to think of how we would play under him. That's what you got to think of here. And then you got to look at the squad we have. And then you got to think Mourinho and that squad and what we're trying to do with it, with the youth, with the the young players, with the idea what I think is to be very attackive, to dominate games, to play a bit like we've seen Brighton play, which is what I think Potter's going to try and implement here with better players. I don't think you can do that with a Mourinho. I don't think you can do that with a Mourinho. That's my honest opinion. But yeah, not that I don't like Mourinho. God, of course not. We love Mourinho. Do you know what I mean? Mourinho is one of the boys. He's one of the guys. He's one of the team, shall I say, of the Chelsea community, and always will be one of the most decorated managers of all time. Or the most decorated manager of all time at Chelsea Football Club. So I choose to not like the idea of that. Now, moving on quickly before we get into Enzo Fernandez, we've got news around from Fabrizio Romano and Brighton. And I know it's not got much to do with Chelsea, but when you look at the fact that Brighton have just now completed the signing of a young talent from Sweden who plays midfield, who plays in midfield specifically, and they've reacted in doing this, only goes to lead to tell me that Moises Caicedo, I think, could potentially have played his last game. And I think now they've got someone in that position, they could probably look to entertain clubs. But the clubs, either Arsenal or Chelsea, are going to have to specifically come to them and meet them in terms of valuations. I've already made it clear, I don't want Chelsea to go anywhere near him for 90 million. But let's just think of it like this. Benfica turn our offer away again for what we've put forward for whatever reasons, because they want 100 and whatever, let's just say. Could we see a Chelsea reaction to that last minute? Could we see a Monday night, Tuesday response from Chelsea for Caicedo? I think if you try and get him for about 60 to 70 million, then fair dues, even though I still think he's slightly overpriced, but then you've got to think about how the importance to Brighton for him, to that he is to them. And he's Premier League proven, and you probably just slip in, especially in terms of fitting in anyway. Every team is going to inflate the price of players. We're going to have to accept that, especially when you're Chelsea knocking on the door. However, if we don't, will Arsenal do it? And I don't think Arsenal will pay 90 million for him. They might do what Chelsea do and try and entertain the fact of getting him in. We might even see a little bit of a Mudryk deal. So I think Chelsea are going to want a quick answer in Enzo Fernandez. If the reports are true, and I keep saying if the reports are true, that we have gone out and offered Enzo Fernandez this offer today, which is what we're being told, if they come back and squash it, will Chelsea react on the basis of this news? And knowing that Brighton have kind of gone and got someone in, probably just worried that the fact that before transfer deadline, there might be a good chance that an offer might come in, a good offer, and the player will push for it, because the player's not playing now. The player's made it clear. He's been all over Instagram painting that he doesn't want to be here. What happens? What happens from now on? We all want Enzo Fernandez. I think most of us will say we want Enzo Fernandez, right? How we get Enzo Fernandez deal done is the biggest question. And will Benfica sell to Chelsea on that basis? We'll wait and see. But Caicedo is open. Caicedo has made it clear he wants to leave. I still think it will be Arsenal, in my opinion. I still think it will be Arsenal. But you just can't knock this Chelsea board for... You can't just look past the Chelsea board, because they've shown us actions, quick actions. And if they want something, they go and get it. They lay it and they get it done. They have a relationship with Brighton. So do Arsenal. Let's see. I think it's all going to fall down on the Enzo news. But I will be annoyed if we put 90 million towards Caicedo. I'd rather us put that 90 million aside and go and attack Enzo in the summer. Don't rush to go and make signings for the sake of it. And Caicedo, for me, is not a £90 million player. No. I feel he's going to Arsenal too. He put out a statement that he's happy at Brighton when we bid. Then he has submitted a recall. That is exactly what I said, Couch. I agree with that as well. Guys, over 450, nearly 500 people here right now. Let's hit the likes. Let's see how quick we can get the likes up. We're going to get into Enzo Fernandez next, and then we're going to open up the lines and get you guys involved. Are we on 100 likes yet? Well, 331 people on Chelsea Fan TV right now. We've got 126 likes. The next step for you guys is to get this to 200. So how quick can you hit that? How quick can we get this to 200 likes? Hit the likes for Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. That's what I'd say. And the same with GNA TV. We've got nearly 150 people here, but only 63 likes, guys. So that should already have been on 100. Please get this to 100 likes now as quickly as possible. Hit the thumbs for Enzo Fernandez as well. Let's see what happens. Give Benfica 100 plus Loftus Cheek. Enzo news from Portugal, but not from English media. Well, we have a little bit, but not heavily, like not an Ornstein dagger or, or a fab comment just yet. But what we're going to do is we're going to analyze quickly the news in and around Enzo Fernandez from this morning and work our way up towards where we are now, discuss it, understand it, and then give our thoughts and opinions, or I'll give my thoughts and opinions on it, and then we'll open up the lines and get you guys involved. Like I said, this is going to be a panel-based show today. Chelsea will return with a new offer for Enzo Fernandez before the end of January transfer window. And that was reported by Record Portugal. Now, a lot of people take it again like a pinch of salt. Yes, they're a big media company in Portugal. Fine. They were also ones to have reported on Enzo Fernandez being advanced and whatever when it didn't happen as well. So we've got to take that into consideration, right? Then we get the news around afraid of the new Chelsea attack. Benfica's Rui Costa wants to increase the value of Enzo Fernandez's release clause, also with the promise of a 2 million if he stays until the summer to 150 million. Chelsea have not yet given up on him. So this was 4 hours ago, right? This is what we were being told 4 hours ago. That kind of makes sense because I think that what they're more worried about is just holding on to the player now. And I do think that they're kind of worried about Chelsea. I think most clubs, when Chelsea are actually formally interested in a player in the way that Bowley and Egbali have moved in this window, are probably sitting there going, what are they going to do next? Are they actually going to come back and actually just slap it on? They've got the funds to do it. They're new owners. They're debt free. What they're going to do. So equally, I get why Rui Costa, if it's true, would react in trying to increase his release clause. It will push Chelsea away from trying to get him now. The player earned a bit of money on it as well. They would have to obviously get the players' agreement in doing that. But it's an interesting tactic from Rui Costa to try and scare away Chelsea. And I'm only saying Chelsea because there's no one else interested in him right now. And I get why we as Chelsea Football Club are trying to get this deal done, or actually push him to get this deal done right now. So we get that and we sit there and we're like, okay, interesting. I wonder if they're going to try and do that now later. I think that that 150 million release clause will obviously be for summer, and it says stayed until summer to get the 100. So that makes sense. But to obviously promote the £2 million in his back pocket in him staying along is another thing. And this is why it goes back to, and we're going to get to the Chelsea thing. Let me get to that actually before I start talking about it. So then we go on to say, what's breaking news? Oh, God, what is everyone sending me? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, again, don't get too excited about this, guys. There is some breaking news, but I can't get to it yet because it's in a chain of a build-up to where we're going to get to now. So that's interesting. That is interesting. All right, cool. Thank you for sending me that over. You're probably all talking about it in the chat already. We've also got a quick donation from Christian, who's put a super cigarette. Big up to you, mate. Thank you for the donation as always. Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it, guys. I've seen it. We're going to get to it in a second. Relax. What was my next thing? Right. So we've gone into that. And then obviously we get all of this, right? We get all these comments in regards to not that one. Sorry, guys. Give me 2 seconds. I think I've got sidetracked from the news, to be fair. I've got another one sent to me as well. I don't know what that news is. So this is what happens when you're live and we get break-ins. What else have we got? Okay, cool. Okay, interesting. So Simon Phillips is added to that as well. All right, cool. So then we get to all of this, and it's a record again saying that, what I just said there. And then it goes on to say that Chelsea offered to meet the 127 million release clause price, which they later backed out from, was in installments. Rui Costa afraid of the attack from Chelsea, which is formally what we're being told actually a thing of right now. Chelsea ready to submit a new proposal of 87 million sterling plus players for Enzo Fernandez. So that was 4 hours ago, right? And we're sitting there thinking, oh, it's only record, this, that, and the other, what they're going on about, right? So we got that. And then we get this breaking news from Cesar Mulo, which was the comment that we got prior to what's just happened now. So he comes out and says, and let me just click. He's a legit, from what I understand, Portuguese journalist. Yeah, so everyone knows, right? He comes out and says that the new attack by Chelsea to keep Enzo Fernandez. He stated that he is willing to pay 100 million euros plus a player of the choice. Now, 100 million euros, bang, there you go, Benfica, if true. And we was waiting, obviously, for that to be confirmed, all right? And then we've got the player of choice. Now, when it comes to player of choice, I don't think it's a specific, an overall pick who you want. Look at our squad and pick them. Not like that. I think we've given them a list of players from loans to new players to maybe some that are on the bench right now. I think we've given them the option to pick an individual player, which in equal, when you think about it, it's going to be worth more than 20 million euros to hand anyway, dependent on who they pick, right? The final decision will be made by Rui Costa, the president of Benfica. The player for now does not want to press and waits for a friendly agreement. So Enzo Fernandez's stance doesn't really change when it comes to Chelsea. He's already agreed personal terms from what we understand with the club, and that will probably still sit. What he wants to see is whether the clubs can actually come to an agreement. Now, if you're Rui Costa and you're sitting there, right, you've got this 100 million offer. You're being given an option of a player as well. All right, it's not the full release clause, right? But that's 100 million euros there and, there and thingy. Now, you don't accept it and you wait to the summer, right? This is just say that this is the case, right? Who's to say that any football club's going to come anywhere near that and pay, want to pay that amount? I don't think you're going to get many clubs come and want to pay 120 or 150, should we say, million euros, which is what they're looking to do in the summer. Maybe only a Real Madrid, a Man City, a PSG. It'll be one of them 3 big European clubs. And they've got to want him, right? They've got to want him. Chelsea will be involved in that, obviously. But the negotiations to probably get it back down will be the case. I think it's a very, and we're waiting for confirmation, an Ornstein, a Fabrizio Romano comment, but I think it's a good offer from what we've done based on the deadline as well, which we're being told that Benfica have got a game on deadline day. So again, something from what we've been told is they probably want to sort this deal out before Tuesday because Benfica play on deadline day. And if Enzo Fernandez is not available on that team and we actually manage to get a deal done, fingers crossed, then, you want to do it before 11 o'clock on Tuesday. So this is something Chelsea are going to have to do before, I think. The second thing is, what we've put forward there, is it for the now or is it for the summer? To keep Benfica sweet, we could maybe offer a little bit less like we have done, give him the player, right? But then say to him, look, agree on our terms, but what we will do for you is you can keep him until summer and he'll just come over to us in the summer and we'll pay this on installments, right? That could have been the option. So this is what I'm waiting for because we haven't really been given a full intel into what and how it is. You won't. Let's be serious. We'll be given it we'll be spoon-fed in many ways in terms of what we're being given. And then it goes on to obviously Simon Phillips, who then backs up that comment to then say that a new attack by Chelsea to sign Enzo Fernandez, and then goes on to say that the 100 million plus player offer is offer in reportedly. Now, when you click into his thing here, it goes down to say, I think he's put a comment there somewhere that basically goes on to say that it's one of his top sources. So he's basically putting it on the line to say that one of his top sources has said that this offer is actually in, right? So now we're sitting there thinking, all right, where's a Fab? Where's an Ornstein? We'll sit back, take this, not like a picture, but we will wait. We'll wait and see how true this is. Anyway, we move from that to then breaking news. And this is news that we've got just come in just now to Enzo Fernandez. And this is the news. Chelsea have informed Benfica they would pay the 120 million euros without players for now. Rui Costa wants to keep. So, need to read that again. Chelsea have informed Benfica they would pay the 120 million euros. Now, actually, let's go to CL Merlo for a second. Because he will have it here, all right? Was it 9 minutes ago? All right, cool. Let's break this down. More on subject Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea informed the club that they are willing to improve the offer to 120 million euros without players involved. For now, Rui Costa continues with his position of not parting with him. The footballer has said remains on sidelines. So what does he mean by that? Footballer said remains on sidelines. The footballer has said remains on sidelines. So I'm assuming he's just staying out of it. He just wants them to come to agreement. And if they accept it and he goes, yep, he's cool. He wants to go anyway. If they don't and he stays, then fine. But again, it goes back to what I say in regards to, is it for now or is it for summer? Now, Rui Costa and Benfica have made it very clear they don't want to lose him. They're in the Champions League. They're doing well there. obviously well in the league, etc. He's a vital player in their team. He's equally that important. I get why they're installing on the matter, but if Chelsea have matched what they want and have matched what they want prior to this 150 million increase in euros, which is what we're being told will be done for the summer if he agrees to it, Chelsea have given them what they want. The real question to that is, how is the instalment broke down? Because this is the next thing, and we'll come back to this in a second. Simon Phillips has said that he feels, and this is just a little tweet here, I suspect we are trying to do an instalment again. Now, he's not said that it's 100%, but he suspects. So Chelsea have informed, but for now, that's the clear equal, so it's not irrelevant what Rui Costa thinks. I suspect we are trying to do it in stall. So that's why there's a stall, because the release clause that they want specifically is to be paid up front. You give us the full amount now for release clause, we're not arguing, we'll send the player. What Chelsea are trying to do, again, and I thought we'd do, and I think we know the answer to it because we've done it with all of the players that we've signed up to this point, is they're trying to install an instalment plan over probably 6.5 years to 7 years to sign Enzo Fernandez. Now, the issue with that is, how are Chelsea structuring this instalment? Are they going to offer Enzo Fernandez, offer Benfica and Rui Costa a large sum amount up front? What is that sum amount? You would think that with offering that amount, that they would have to offer something big up front, because that's what they want. And I'm talking about 60 million, maybe potentially 70 million up front, with a little bits that are left broken down. Have Chelsea done that? Right? And that's the thing why we will go back to this. Have Chelsea come to the point of admitting they'll, from read it again, more on support for Enzo. Chelsea informed the club that they are willing to improve their offer to 100 without the player. So they've got two offers now, from what we're being told. £100 million euros and you pick a player, which isn't the full money that they want, but they're kind of looking at it and probably going, right. And then it falls down to, what player can we take from Chelsea that fits in what we're doing? And that's the issue there, isn't it? And we don't know what the list is. I do think there is a list for him, but I don't think it's just pick who you want, as it's been worded here. Then it goes on for now, Rui Costa continues with his position of not parting with him. The footballer has said remains on the sidelines, right? And then you've got this new offer, which says Armerlo's brought out, to say that it's 120. Chelsea have now said, look, if you don't want the 100 million player, we'll give you the 120 million pounds without the player in full. But you'll have to meet our instalment, our structure, whatever that is. We've not been told on Rui Costa's position on that. All they're saying is that they don't want to lose him. But they've been saying that for a very long time. And it comes to the point where eventually, the more and more Chelsea meet the demands, the more and more Chelsea actually come close to what is being asked, that eventually, surely, you think that they're going to open up doors, right? You think they're going to open up the door. So this falls down now to the structure. This second bid that's come in, the 120 million without players. It's going to be on installments, 100%. I don't see us paying this all up front. How have we structured it? And does it benefit Benfica? That's the question. And they're going to have two offers. If this is true, and I'm waiting for a Fabrizio Romano, I'm waiting for a David Ormstein. We need something of that to clarify that this is the case. See if we've got anything else coming. Apparently, Troops is saying that Moises Caicedo will be an Arsenal player within the next 72 hours. Admin sources have revealed. So apparently, Arsenal are getting Caicedo, according to Troops. Let's go back. That's what I'm saying. We're going back and forwards here on stuff, but look at that. Look at that. Apparently, Troops has said Moises Caicedo will be an Arsenal player. Within the next 72 hours. Admin sources. So Chelsea aware of this? Chelsea now throwing hammer and tong for Enzo Fernandez right now. Are we actually going to try and get this done now to cut out the competition in the summer? Or can we somehow get some sort of agreement in place where we know they don't want to lose him? He's having a good season there. We'll give you what you want, but the 120, not the 150. But you've got to agree to him coming to us in the summer for that money, and you have to agree to the structure. that we lay down. No 150 mil. This is how we will pay you. This is what you'll get. But the deal here is that you keep the player to the summer. I think that's our best selling point. And as much as I want him now, as much as you fans there, the 600 people that are watching now want him, I think that's going to be our best way of getting him, because it keeps Rui Costa happy. It probably keeps Enzo Fernandez cool about it, because he knows he's coming now and it's done and he can just play his last months at Benfica, right? You know? And Chelsea get the player they want, right? We end up getting who we want. Now, we need to wait and see more. We need to wait and see more. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here. What's going on here now? People saying, Jim, check Rob at RJ. I don't really, again, I don't want to go into a thing of like bring up every single journalist, because I don't know how much of it I believe. Now, that sounds horrible. I'm not really getting too excited about Enzo to Chelsea. Even this Cesar Merlo, who's quite a legit Portuguese journalist, fine. I still need to hear it from we need to hear it from the top tiers. I need to hear an Ornstein come out and say, yeah, Chelsea done this, they've done that, now they wait, or something. We're not getting that. So let's have a look at what Rob has said from RJP. I mean, I like Rob. I even got him. I can't remember. RJP. Here we go. What's Rob saying? Oh, it's his birthday. I even wished him happy birthday. All I asked for was 24 hours, Chelsea. You couldn't even allow me that. CFC have informed Benfica that they will offer 120 million. So he's just elaborating on what they're saying here as well. All I asked for is for 24 hours, Chelsea. You couldn't even allow me that because it's his birthday. CFC have informed Benfica they will offer 120 million euros for Enzo. 80 million paid up front. In my opinion, if Chelsea push it up to 100 million up front, something can be done. What? No. Why the hell would we offer 100 million up front and only have 20 million left to play over 7 years? That makes no sense to me. That don't make no sense to me. The 80 million euros, I would say, is the cap. Why would Benfica not accept 80 million euros up front for him and then take the other 40 million over whatever? They've still got a massive lump of it. They still go and buy a player with that. It's 80 million euros. Also, again, I think CFC are offering 120 million euros. They would be prepared to go up a bit more if a deal is on installments. If you were in Connor's space Friday, you may now understand why I was reluctant to rule anything out. Yeah, because Chelsea have now responded, and again, you know how we've responded to this. As it doesn't really surprise me, because I kind of thought we would respond. It's just, how are we going to get the deal done, Chelsea? And what way are we going to get this done? I do think a lump sum, an instalment plan with a lump sum up front, is the way forward for Chelsea and getting Enzo Fernandez. But is it for the now or is it for the summer? That's the big question that we need to have answered here. What else is people saying in the chat quickly? Caicedo, apparently, according to Troops, is going to Arsenal in 72 hours. Apparently it's done. That don't surprise me if that's true. But now it makes more sense as to why Chelsea are pushing for Enzo Fernandez. We just need an Ornstein dagger. We just need a Fabrizio Romano. Not here we go, but something. Someone to just confirm that what's going on in and around Chelsea and Enzo is true. And we wait for that. You know, people are starting to slowly get excited again. Fine. Get excited. But let's just remember, guys, we were here before. We went through all this before, and it ended up leading to a dead barrel. So let's just wait and have more clarity and confirmation is my, obviously, to you guys. Nearly 700 people in the chat already. Smells like cap. They still have to pay River Plate. That's true. That's true as well. Oh, right. Okay. So what you're saying is why he's saying we might have to pay 100 mil is because they've got to pay River Plate as well. But then it only leaves 20 million to pay over installments. If you buy a player for 120 million euros and you pay a huge 100 million euros up front, why not just play the other 20? It makes no difference. Why are you going to, and this is what I'm trying to get from a business standpoint, why would you set up an installment plan for Enzo Fernandez on a 20 million pounds over 6-7 years? You might as well just pay for the player completely and take him on. And then you've got nothing owed to the club and you just pay his wage. Why would you? Do you get what I mean? I would have got it if it was, more 70, 80 million up front and then the 40, 50 million split out. That makes more sense. I don't know is the answer. Enzo over. Also, Rui Costa to drop his fucking. He does, but money. Chelsea are now talking, and if these talks are true, if we are going to offer what we've said we're going to offer on the table, we are. Yeah, we're going to open up the lines in a second. I'm just going through the chat, and we're going to put the link in the chat. Get you guys involved. Nearly 50 minutes in, we've got 665 people here. 500 people on Chelsea Fan TV at the moment. How many likes have we got, though? Only 179 likes. Come on, guys. That should be over 200. Chelsea Fan, GNA TV, 90 likes with nearly 200 people. Hit the thumb for Enzo Fernandez now. Hit the thumb if you want to see him here in January. Let's not get too excited. I'm getting a little bit, but not too, because I need an Ornstein. I need a Fab. I need something. Someone else, please confirm this. We can get a cheaper option for Caicedo and better. I agree with that. Big up to you, though, Joey. Nice to see you in the house. FFP. I don't want to hear the FFP thing. I don't want to hear it, but we will need to sell a player. I know that. Don't understand why people get excited and then spit in fire and deal is not happening. Just calm down. Nothing is happening. Well, you got to read. You got to listen to what you read. But at the same time, you're right. Maybe take it a bit of a pinch of salt and wait for maybe the bigger tiers to break it. I keep saying that, and I keep repeating that as well. I always repeat that to you guys, especially how we've been treated in the past. What's Pies saying now? TFC Pies has given us another tweet. Let's have a look. Watch this. So we'll get built up for all of this. Like Chelsea will do this, Chelsea will do that, this, that, and the other. And then we get slapped. And then we get slapped with, nah. Oh, what a surprise, guys. What did I say to you? And I knew this would be the case. Chelsea's £105 million offer would be in various payments via CFC. Has he brought another comment, or is he just elaborating on what he's just said there? Let's go down. Is he just... I think we've checked this already. Yeah, this is just him highlighting. So basically, he's just highlighting the... What's this about? Sorry, guys. All right, yeah. Just checking my... trying to do a tweet and take you guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the lines because I keep getting lots of messages and I'm trying to keep up with things right now so that I can obviously keep you guys up to date. Why wouldn't he accept this? That's what I want to know. He's got a kind of... If the 105 million or the 120 million that we're offering is legit, why would you not accept that? That is a lot of money for a player that you bought for, what, was it 20 odd mil? I can't remember how much they got him for. You're making so much profit. It's going crazy at the moment. Everything is in the air. I just need to wait and see, have more confidence, have more confirmation. In the meantime, I need to get people in so that I can concentrate on what's going on Twitter, because there's loads of different threads coming out that people are sending me. So I let Don and CFC Cyprus take over and talk at the moment. So talk, guys.
Yeah, man. I think they're on the ropes, Jim. Like I said earlier,
same.
They don't want to get rid of him, but we're just not stopping, are we? We're just not stopping. I think we're just looking to find the best terms really to get it wrapped up. I know the deadline day is on Tuesday, isn't it? But we've still got enough time to get something done. I'm quite confident because it doesn't sound like we're going to go back in for Caicedo, especially for 90 million, as what's been
Troops
reported.
has said he's going to Arsenal in 72 hours, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Take him. If they want to pay that money for him, take him. I'd rather we just focus on Enzo, get that sorted out, even if it's for the summer. We've got some midfielders coming in of quality who've been injured and whatnot. So, yeah, man, that one needs to get done. Again, I'm not, like you've said there, I'm not looking into too much at the moment. I know that journalist from Portugal was quite reliable. Some of the things he called in like the summer as well was quite good.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what he's called, but I know I always see his name like first before Fabrizio when it
Mm.
comes to the international stuff. But yeah, I'm just kind of sitting back and sort of waiting now, man. See, waiting for the Fabrizio David Ornstein one, and seeing what we do with this. But yeah, I think we're definitely going to come with something where they're going to look at it and think, do you know what, this is too good to turn down now. This is way too good to turn down now. So as much as they don't want to do it, I think we're going to get it wrapped up. Honestly.
I'm on the ropes. I need an Ornstein dagger. I need a Fabrizio Romano up. I need something. I don't want to get too excited about something because of what
Mm,
happened before. And we already know what Rui Costa's like. He's a guy that's very hard to work with. It might be the case that we get it done not for the now, that we get him in the summer. I keep telling people this to be aware of that might be the case, just to sweeten them in terms of what we've put forward. It might be the case that they accept the 105 million euros or whatever we put forward with maybe a player, I don't know, or just the cash. If they're happy to keep him, which they will be, keeping him for now until the summer, and that will sweeten Rui Costa because they don't want to lose him. But to
yeah.
have that, they will have to agree with what we want, and we kind of have more control on it because our terms will be: this is our instalment plan, this is what we want to pay. We're happy to give you him to the summer, even though we want him now, but this is our terms, and you have to work with us on this. That
This is
might
it.
be
I
the way.
think, yeah, no, definitely. I think how I'm looking at it, we pissed them off before. We're obviously looking to go back in. I don't think we're going in aggressively, to be honest. I think we're just offering better terms now, which is expected. So I think this is going to go all the way to Tuesday, because this is not going to be an easy deal to get done. But again, Enzo's bought into the whole project. He obviously wants to move. He's accepted terms already. We all know this. But yeah, man, we need to do whatever we've got to do in terms of the terms, whether we've got to give them a player or whatever, pay more up front. Just do what you've got to do, because I'm not trying to be in a battle with Man City, Man United, even Liverpool, these sort of teams in the summer. I just don't want that, man. So yeah, I think we need to do whatever we
I
can
think,
between now and
yeah,
Tuesday.
I think what you're saying is right. I think we want to cut the whole idea of having to go to war with other clubs. I think if we want to get it done now, we're the only club interested in doing it. Yes, it's going to cost us stupid money, and he is in many ways overvalued in that instance. But you're cutting. It's like cutting the queue, isn't it? Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean? If you
exactly.
can get it done. So it's like
100%.
it makes sense. It makes sense if we could get him done like it in Kunku and Malo Gusto, and he comes in the summer. Fine. I think that would be the right way to do it. I think that's what they want. I just think they're too worried about the now. Oh, we don't want him to go now, though. We want him to stay. He's sitting there probably going, look, I'm going to stay out of this. You guys come to an agreement and let me know. That's what I think Enzo's doing, in my opinion. I don't think he's
Definitely.
getting too overly involved. He really agreed terms with Chelsea when you think about it. That hasn't changed. Really done that. So it's just about the club. So for Enzo Fernandez, it's a thing of like, he's probably happy staying at Benfica, to be honest. But at the same time, if Benfica go, actually, you're on your way, we're going to accept the money, you probably go, cool.
Listen,
Like,
and with that,
that's what I see
with
it.
that 2
Like,
million, with the 2
yeah,
million I've seen being reported, apparently he's
yeah.
going to get 2 million if he ends up staying. Yeah, like, look, he's going to get a lot more just for signing on with Chelsea. So I'm not looking into that as anything really. When it comes to that 2 million that he's going to apparently get.
Just quickly, do you think the 100 million up front for him and then the 20 million being paid over various installments makes sense? Because obviously we've still
Yeah.
got River Plate to pay out of this as well. So maybe that 20 mil goes
Mhm.
to them and they take the rest. Do you think
I
like,
think it makes sense because we're clearing out as of summer, aren't we? So we're gonna make some
yeah,
money back for some of these players. I know we're not gonna get as much as what we got when we initially paid for them. Players like Ziyech, Pulisic, these sort of guys, but we are gonna start making money back. It reminds me of the season when we sold like Tammy, Tamori, and whatnot. We made a lot of money on those sales from those players. So I think, look, with the money right now, we're gonna make something back. Whether that's 50 million we make back in sales, 60 million we make back. At least that's better than nothing. Do you know what I mean? So we've definitely got we've got some value in some of these players that want to leave, so we can make that money back. So I'm not bothered, man. Chelsea just need to get this done. Like we need to get this done.
yeah. In between that, I'm obviously keeping an eye out on these reports to see what people are, if there's anything else coming from it. I'm expecting an Ornstein or a Fab update somewhere, and with all of the news that's going in and around Enzo and Chelsea. So let's all prepare for hopefully I'll say good news. Hopefully some sort of
The
update
thing
to
is,
where
with
they're at.
the whole Benfica thing, like obviously Chelsea and Enzo, a lot of the journalists that initially said the things that Fabrizio and David would say after, like Ornstein, were coming from the Portuguese reports initially. So, And this guy seems to be quite reliable. So I'm expecting something to come within the
Well, we'll
next
see.
day.
The thing is, they've got to update on what's going on. So they're probably going to go into their own sources and see what's going on, see if this is true, see where it is, and whatever. So hopefully, the next message we get from Fab and Ivor and Ornstein is a positive one. Fingers crossed. We all want it to be the case, and that it's true. At the same time, I think we have to just stay reserved and not get too excited with what we're actually reading at the moment and hope that this is true. But guys, there's over nearly 800 people here, nearly 800 to 900 people here at the moment. So big up to every single one of you guys that are currently here at the moment. Do us a favor though, hit the like buttons if you've not hit the like buttons already for both Chelsea Fan TV and GNA TV. Subscribe to both. Let's try and subscribe because we're going to be doing shows all the way up to transfer deadline day as well. Hit the notification button. You see that little bell below where you're watching me? That will alert you every time that we go live as well. So please make sure that you get that done as well. And it's we massively appreciate the support as always from you guys in the chat and the panel as well. CFC Cyprus, what are you saying?
Hey, what's up? We good?
All good, mate. How are you feeling about this, mate? Are you still on the bench at the moment, waiting for a bit more? Like, what's your thoughts on this Enzo to Chelsea saga?
I really want. I agree with you. I still want to see that Fabrizio Romano tweet so I can be more optimistic and to make it feel more realistic. Because seeing it from many other sources, I'm not really sure I can feel like that is a true thing that's gonna happen.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Obviously, we've got Chelsea Dodgers here. Big up to him. He says, after the Portuguese and Argentina media reports on Enzo Fernandez earlier, nothing from the UK media, etc. Yet is something cooking because you would have felt they would have squashed it by now. Someone would have elaborated it. Maybe a Fab or an Ornstein or even something from Matt Law. I don't know. We've not had anything yet from the English media side. So is there something? Whether it's good or bad, I think we'll find out very soon on this. And to be honest, the way I thought we might move is that we want to get an answer from Benfica quickly onto whether we can get an agreement with Enzo for either now or the summer, whatever way we try and get the deal done with Rui Costa and Benfica. If it's just a straight up no and they're just being arses and they're just sitting on the fact that they want to increase his release clause to 150 and they think they can get more money for him and they're just going to wait to the summer, then I thought we might have gone for Caicedo. But then you're reading that Caicedo is potentially going to Arsenal. I feel that might still be the case as well. So I don't know, man. I think the news is a bit everywhere at the moment, if you want my honest opinion. I don't know. Joe, what are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I feel pretty confident about it. Like, logically, seriously. Yeah, I mean, I feel like number one, I mean, Benfica's board. I mean, at the end of the day, Rui Costa makes the call, but Benfica's board is divided, right? There's been a bunch of people in English media that said that, even Portuguese, just in general, say that Benfica's board is divided on selling Enzo just because that was the first report, even when we first went in on him. So I just feel like putting that much money, even though Rui Costa is the trigger man, I mean, that's a lot of money, like you said. And they're not going to get that much money in the summer. They might get a little bit less than that, not a little bit less, but like 70 mil, 60 mil from someone else. So I mean, like, I just think in this situation, us putting that 100 mil down, even saying 120 mil installments or not, I feel like in the end I actually feel confident. I really do. And this isn't just like optimism. Like, I really do logically think that, I mean, as long as the reports are real and Merlo usually, is really, really reliable in this situation. And I feel like it's good, honestly, that Portuguese people are putting it out before English people, just because maybe like Dodgers said, I think, it's more of like a quick, swift thing that kind of just happened out of nowhere, to the point that even English reporters haven't 110% gotten their hands on it yet, which is good. But it's good to hear info just in general about Enzo, but I do feel optimistic.
Do you think it's for now or for the summer? This is the thing I keep trying to ask people. Do you think is it like a deal that will run summer?
I think that Bowley, Vavell, and everybody looked at our squad and realized, as we've just been talking about in a lot of different, streams here too as well, like Champions League football, it's very far away, but at the end of the day, it's still there technically. We're only halfway through the season, so I think that Bowley's trying to push for now, just because at the end of the day, he knows we'll lose revenue with not having any type of European football, even if it's, something bad. Even if we get slight European football, it's still good revenue-wise, which is, at the end of the day, Bowley was big on trying to make Chelsea, a huge billion-dollar company. So I just think overall he's pushing for now because he realizes that the team isn't 110% that strong. And then we have the stuff for the summer. We need something now as well.
They got to Shano in the house with the brown envelopes. That's funny, man. That makes me laugh every time. Yeah, I mean, I agree with CFC Jack. Soon, hopefully, some sort of update. I'm waiting to see. I mean, we're going to be here for hopefully another 45 minutes or so. I'm expecting, hopefully, we get another update from somewhere, from someone, hopefully of a higher tier to confirm this. Would it be funny if Chelsea Twitter, if Chelsea admin just put a funny comment about Enzo? That'd be funny, wouldn't it? You know how they've been moving as well. So, yeah, that would be interesting. Enzo is not pushing. Big up to JP in the house as well. JP, guess what? We'll see. But your worst nightmare of him coming could be happening, mate. Who knows? Daniel, big up to the yellow bus in the house as well. Nice to see him. No, I am, because I want the player. I think everyone in the world knows that Jem wants Enzo Fernandez. And I think most people on here, the 800 people that are here right now, would agree. We need Enzo Fernandez for various reasons. But excited of the news. I'm going to sit on the bench. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to see what happens later on today before I start getting maybe a little bit, a little bit excited.
If we do get Enzo, I actually can't wait to see how JP reacts to him transforming our midfield. He seems to always say, guys, relax about this Enzo guy. So it'll be interesting to see that, man.
JP will be thanking us. He'll be like, oh my God, Jen, I can't believe it. You saw this. You saw this before. No, I'm joking. Let's see, guys. The thing
is, Enzo definitely he's not worth what they're asking for, right? But we're living in a day and age now where it's like you've just got to pay what the player's worth to the club. Do you know what I mean? Like even when Declan Rice, when Moyes was quoting him to be 150 million or whatever it was that they were saying, I still wasn't. I was looking at his value, and realistically, he was probably worth 60 million at the time, 70 million at the time. So with Enzo, he's definitely not worth what they're asking for, but. Again, we're living in the time now where it's like you just got to pay what the club values that player to be, especially in January as well. If if we get guys, the whole panel, right? If we get Enzo this window, not just a Chelsea window, is this the greatest January window ever in the Prem?
Yes,
I mean, yes. Like
or just in football.
You look at the talent, yes. Like at the end of the day, people talk about these guys may not pan out, but in terms of potential, like. People know, even rival clubs, when they watch Mudryk, know. You know what I mean? Like that kid could be dangerous. Will he be? We don't know. But we get Enzo, Mudryk, Malo Gusto, just all these players in this window, all these talented players. It's insane. Like this is actually insane.
I agree. I can't echo it anymore. I can't remember a January window of a club having like what Chelsea have had in terms of the number of players that's been brought in, the positions, the depth, the strength that you have with that. And this is without all the injuries that we've had, and that the fact that we're actually going to have all these players back as well, hopefully in between February and March as well. So it's exciting times. Don't get me wrong. And again, the intention from the owners, the board, to try and get their priorities is clear. And again, we wait to see how true all of this news is and whatever. But when you look at it from a Todd Bowley, an Egbali position and how it looks, they're trying to get things done in a quick manner, and that's a good thing for us, right? That's what we want, right? And they're notifying the areas. They're actually aware of the areas that we need to sort. And if they're sitting there going, do you know what, I can't watch another half a season of this midfield, it's definitely just so unbalanced, we need to do something, then that just goes to show how much ambition they're trying to show for this club. Let's not forget in the summer, there's going to be a lot of players that probably go out the door. And then this is why I say the summer's going to be interesting, because not only are we going to look at midfield again, because we will look for another if we do get Enzo in. I still believe that. But then we will look at the overall squad, where we are weak in certain areas, maybe start using some of the young players that we've brought in to maybe, be the depth in many ways. Maybe we don't. Maybe we start buying, some other young prospects for 20, 30, 40 million to throw in as depth. They will then analyze the overall squad, the crop of players that we have, and then make decisions on how they can strengthen that overall depth. The depth is the next thing after the outgoings in the summer, So let's see what happens, guys. Over 800 people still here. Some people just coming through trying to find out what's going on with Enzo Fernandez, where we're up with it. Well, this is the most latest news from Cesar Merlo himself. It says that more on the subject, Enzo Fernandez, Chelsea informed Benfica that they are willing to improve the offer to 120 million euros without a player involved, but in various payments. So, as we already spoke about, It could be that they want 80 million up front, and then the rest on it. It could be 90 million up front. It could be from even as much as 100 million. We know that River Plate are interested in getting their money back, which I think is in around 20 million or so, which is owed to them. So maybe we'd have to incorporate that as well. You know, there's been options given to Rui Costa. If all the options that we've been told are true, which we're waiting for, you know, the 100, originally we were told it was 100 million with a player. Now we're being told that Chelsea are happy to meet the 120 million clause on an instalment. You know, so let's see. Let's see what happens, isn't it? We'll see what happens. But we'll see whether it's brown envelopes or 2.0 again, won't we, Shano? But yeah, go on, guys. What are you going to say?
I was just gonna say, like, I mean, you just think about it rationally, right? Like, if you're the Benfica board, like, if we give them even that other report that you brought up from the journal, from the other journalist, if we even give them 100 mil up front and then the 20 million installments, like, that is going to be crazy to turn down, because in the summer, if Enzo does go for 60, 70 mil, it's not going to be all up front. So, like, more than likely, you know, some teams like Real Madrid, City, whatever, they're going to try to do exactly what we're going to do. And let's just say he goes for 60, 70 mil. It could be 50 mil with, you know, 20 installments, or maybe 60 mil. That's just that he just turned down 30 mil in raw cash, you know. And I'm not saying that Benfica is hurting for money, but that's not logical as a club, because at the end of the day, it's a business. And even if they're strapped on cash, not strapped on cash, I saw someone in the chat talk about Darwin Núñez and how they just sold him, so maybe they don't need money, but still, it's still making a crazy profit in what, 6 months' time, not even a full year on Enzo.
True, and on top of that, it will then also fall down to the fact if they feel that they can get more from him in summer. And when they talk about increasing his release clause from 120 million to 150 million, which is what we're being, you know, what we're being told at the moment. If they turn it down, maybe they feel that they can get it done. I equally just don't think they will. You know, I don't think any club will go in for 150 million euros for him at that point. And then what? You've got a player that maybe wants to leave in the summer, but's agreed to for 150 million release clause, but can't go anywhere. Do you get what I mean? So
no, 100%. I mean, like, what team could even afford him for 150 mil?
Man City, PSG, Real Madrid, Chelsea.
There's four-man race. Like, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. It just doesn't really make any sense.
Well, right? They've got to want him.
Yeah, and then exactly, like, Real Madrid is looking at Jude Bellingham, who could end up. You have to think about it again. Like, 150 mil for Enzo, Jude could push and definitely could be way less than 150 mil. So then Real Madrid is already done. So then you only have 3 teams in the race. And Man City, I don't think is going to pay 150 mil for Enzo Fernandez.
When Enzo comes here and transforms our team completely and we start winning things, no one's going to even look at the price tag. No one's going to talk about it anymore. This is going to be good value for money. Like, you just know that a player's just got it. Like, Enzo just has it. He just has it. It's just got that heart, that South American heart as well. Do you know what I mean? So if you look at it, Gallagher, they're quoting what, 40 million for him, 30 million for him. Ziyech, maybe another 30 there, 20 million there. You've got Pulisic as well. Hopefully he'll get sold. That's a lot of money that we're getting back already in the summer, and hopefully this January, if Conor Gallagher does leave this January. So yeah, man. I think we just pay up now. It's got to the point now where we just need to pay.
They can't do what I'm saying is they can't do any more than what they've done up to this point. If it's true, obviously we're waiting for confirmation more on it. But you know, Enzo's negotiations. 1 second.
I don't agree with that. Enzo not transforming anything. Our new attack will transform us. Enzo is just a compliment. Have you been watching our midfield since 2017?
But he's a huge compliment. Like, bro, I'm thinking, I've been dreaming about Enzo long through balls to Mudryk with the pace he has. Like, imagine the things we can do. Like, the things we can unlock in the final third that we haven't been able to unlock in forever. Like, as much as we hate Havertz does sometimes make some runs that do get overlooked. Like, imagine if Enzo does find Havertz sometimes. Then from there, it's on if Havertz can, you know, finish it and control it. And that's a different story. But still. And even next year, if you think about from a future perspective, like Nkunku, who can distribute absolutely insane as well, Mudryk, Madueke, and Enzo, like, that's just, I mean, maybe João Felix, that's insane.
Just going back to this news as well, Cesar Merlo, when the original talks of Enzo Fernandez came out about Chelsea, he was the one that obviously, brought it up. And then that's when it sort of transpired and people jumped on the bandwagons and whatever. He was also the first person to come out and confirmed that it collapsed. So I'm not trying to give anyone any more hints, but like this guy seems to be slightly ahead of the curveball.
Jim, that's what I was trying to tell you. Like this,
I think people need to just be, because funny enough, big up to Pies. He did mention that to me as well. So yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, that's what I was just gonna tell you. Like this dude Merlo, like at the end of the day, like Fab and those guys, like of course we're waiting for them, but Merlo is top tier in Portugal. Like and he, like you said, I mean, I'm not gonna say too much because you said everything, so I feel pretty confident. And
we've got something on Caicedo. Apparently, we're going to go to the yellow bus in a second, but let's go to Fabrizio Romano because apparently he's come out with a comment on Caicedo. So let's just quickly jump to that before we go on continue with Enzo Fernandez, because as much as it probably goes to the fact why we're looking at him more, but Arsenal have not submitted a new bid on Saturday for Moises Caicedo, but understand club discussed internally about a new proposal for 70 million package with add-ons included. Brighton insist on the intentions to sell Moises Caicedo, not to sell him anyway. So basically, Arsenal are pretty much supposedly preparing a package close of around 70 million for the player, even though Brighton don't want to sell him. And it's a bit like the Benfica with Chelsea thing at the moment. They want X amount. We're obviously offering a little bit less than that, or have done. You know, they're trying to hold on to players that they feel are important to their football club they want here. But money talks. I keep telling people, money talks in every game. Forget football. It doesn't matter what type of business that you do. Money talks. And when a serious deal is laid on the table, and if Arsenal do put that deal forward, do not be surprised if Caicedo himself is wearing an Arsenal shirt for the rest of this season. And the same with Chelsea with Enzo Fernandez, if it's confirmed. So let's see what happens there. But yellow bus, bro. What's going on? Yo, Patron, Daniel, you're muted. If you're there,
yeah.
What we saying, bro?
What's good, bro?
Are you excited?
Like everybody's really, really excited.
Well, no, it's again sitting on the bench because we've been.
I'm saying if it happens, though. If it happens, it seems like people are excited about it. Overall,
are you not?
Not really. Not because of the midfield. I've wanted this midfield to change for a long time. I've been saying this for years that we need to revamp our center mids. I'm a little wary of the price. I think the price is a little bit crazy, only because we we just don't have one midfielder. We need like several, right?
Yeah.
So get two. Yeah. So I mean, I just feel like the second midfielder is going to be a compromise, like Onana, who's I don't think he's good enough for us. But I mean, if
what if it's Declan Rice and Enzo Fernandez?
You said what?
What if it's Declan Rice and Enzo?
I don't think it will be.
Like, what if it was?
Then great. Right? That's
you're happy. That's what I'm saying. You're happy then. So Enzo the player ain't a problem.
I'll be happy with that. I'll be 100% happy with that. But I just don't think, because you see, like, we haven't even bid for Rice. I don't think this new ownership or this new board is really interested in Rice to that level. So I don't know if I see it happening. But you know, when you spend or when you commit to 120 on him, we've already spent about 500 million. This brings it up to about 600, 620 or something in that range.
Yeah.
You know, it's considering that we probably have 2 or 3 more midfielders to get. I mean, no, one or two after we get him.
We got outgoings as well. Then.
Huh?
We've got outgoings as well to happen.
I hear that. Yeah. But every player you lose, it costs about double to get their replacement in, right? Yeah. So like you lose someone like you lose a Jorginho on a free to replace him is 120 million on Enzo, right? You lose a Loftus-Cheek for 35 million, or you lose Gallagher for another 40. That's 70 million. That's nice, right? You can say that goes into the Enzo deal. But what about those players in our squad, right? Because Gallagher plays a lot. So you can, Enzo's not going to play every single game, right, throughout the whole season by himself, right? And if you get rid of those guys, then who's playing? Are we talking about the kids? If that's what we're going
No, wait,
with,
where are you specifying this? Are you talking about specifically going into this next part of the season, or are you talking about from the summer onwards? Where are we talking about here?
I'm talking about summer onwards, right? Like this part of the season, we're not selling. I don't think we're selling anyone the next couple of days, so it's fine. But moving forward, you know, I just don't see ourselves being able to cover, you know, that much in buys. But again, I'm not a financial expert, so I don't know. But I personally would have probably waited and just seen what these other young guys look like, right? Because if you remember this time last year, there was one name everybody said that we would have to get, and if we don't get him, it's terrible, and there's no other option better than him. And 4 months later, Enzo is the one, right? And then the next 4 months is going to be somebody else for a lot cheaper. You know, I'm against spending this amount of money on anybody.
But I get what you're saying.
Frankie de Jong was the one in summer, right? Frankie de Jong. Huh? Nobody, like, he was the number one guy in every you know lineup I saw on Twitter. We talked about him every single day, right? And people were saying, "Yo, if we don't get Frankie de Jong, like,
yeah, but that's a completely different situation because he didn't want to leave Barcelona at all. He did not want to leave. Enzo's accepted terms with us.
Yeah.
Like, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, bro? Okay, so would you rather us not pay for Enzo and another club comes in and actually pays for him, because that's what's going to happen, right? Sure. And we're not going to get De Jong. So what's going to happen then? Would you rather us not pay for him because you're thinking about the money aspect too much? Because like a few people in the comments have said, there's a lot of outgoings. There's a lot of money to be made from the outgoings. So I think that they're looking at that as well. We're going to make some money back. At the end of the day, it's not our money. Like, these guys have a lot of money. So would you rather us just leave him? Would you rather just leave him and he goes and another club pays up for him?
Right, let me answer your question. The same way we said the exact same thing about Frankie de Jong and Enzo popped up. That's the same way another player is going to pop up. A Zubomendi is going to pop up. A Malo Gusto is going to pop up. There are a lot of other players out there, right? That right now we're seeing as Enzo's the only option. Just like in the summer, we thought Frankie de Jong was the only option. Yeah, I see Pice's comment. I'm not saying Frankie de Jong would have helped us massively. What I'm saying is, in the summer, no one looked at Enzo. No one mentioned Enzo. No one even remotely even sniffed his way, right? It was all Frankie de Jong. 4 months later, we see this great player. We're like, oh shit, we need to get him.
Because they're close profiles as well. They're very close in profiles, both of them, and they're very limited. It's a very limited market of that type of player. I'm telling you now.
I don't think it's that limited.
I think
that's a pretty bad like comparison. Like 4 months ago, he just joined Benfica. Of course, no one's talking about him.
No, that's really my point. I just mentioned two players who have a release clause less than 50 million. Who we don't know what they're going to be like in the next 4 months. There's 4 months left.
But we can't worry about that.
You're just hoping. You're just hoping that someone else is going to pop up similar to Enzo. You can't look at football like that. You can't look at football like that.
There's going to be players popping up.
That's not always the case. Not at this level. Hence why it's very hard to find someone with a similar profile to Enzo at the moment. Okay, you name me more than 5 players right now that you think are similar to Enzo, apart from De Jong.
It doesn't need to be 5, right? It needs to be one, two, or 3. Like I said, Zubomendi's 1.
He's a player on the same level as Enzo.
He's a player who's killing it in Spain. Yeah, but he's had again. We're talking about a Caicedo after 13 games in the Premier League, going for 90 million, 70s. You know,
but he's a completely different profile.
What do you mean a completely different profile?
But he's a completely different profile to Enzo Fernandez.
In what way? So is Frankie de Jong. It's not about the profile. It's about getting.
It is about the profile. That's the problem for me. It is. I want a specific player in our team for a reason. Because this guy that we're specifically talking about here is the guy that we talk about many times, that I have said in past shows, will create from the deep line, has the ability to make great passes behind the defenses, to be able to knock 20, 30-yard balls left and right with both feet and actually it pull off and actually progress us and then see us move forward quicker on transitions. This guy has not only that to his game, which I think is one of the biggest things, but he's also able to do many other things as well with that, along with the fact that he's only 21 years old.
I hear all that. My point
and he's a goal.
And he scores goals, and he can shoot outside the box. What player in our team shoots outside the box? None of them. Another one. It's another player, it's someone else.
You're expecting him to come in and score a lot of goals outside the box?
No, he's not.
But he's way better.
The option.
Yeah, he's way better. Like at the end of the day, when the ball comes, like when Mudryk makes a great play and lays it to Enzo Fernandez outside the box, we know we have a chance. If he lays it to Jorginho, everyone's ducking in the crowd. Like I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah, Kovacic is going up to another stadium. But my
Like
point
name
is,
a single midfielder that could do that.
What is it that I get? So from your perspective, you're just mainly worried about the price. I agree with the price tag. It is a lot of money. I actually agree with that. But is that the only thing, or is it the actual player's ability as well?
No, I think the player's ability is good. I think 70 million makes a lot of sense. I think that would be like the perfect buy, right? My thing is this: is when you spend 120, you're spending it for how do I put this? You're spending it on Hazard level players. And that's my way to put it, right? A player that by himself can completely change everything.
I think, yeah, go on.
And it's fine if you guys think that's what he is. I don't see that. Someone put, I think it was Pice who posted the comment that he's of the level of Fabregas but faster. I think that's a little bit asinine to me. He's not close to Fabregas at all. Like
the thing is, I agree with you. I agree with everything that you're saying.
Right? But his passing is not Fabregas. Like if we're paying this price for Pedri, I'll say do it. Because I feel he's going to be a player who's going to get to a level to challenge for like a Ballon d'Or. He's that type of player, right? I think he's very good. He might like his upper echelon. And just my assessment is probably like a Toni Kroos. The lower level is probably Gundogan, right? Still fantastic world-class players, but they're not Iniesta, they're not Xavi, right?
Yeah, but you do also know, Dan, that he will become an investment as well. Because he's 21 years old, right? We buy him at 21, right? Let's say it works, and Chelsea, we strengthen the squad even more. We get another midfielder with him, and we've got Mudryk and whatever, and we start kicking on again, and we're closing the gap to the league, and we're winning trophies here and there as well. And then it hits the point where he wants to leave 3-4 years down the line to the next big thing. I don't know, his dream club. Again, it's the investment side of Enzo Fernandez as well. At 21 years old, 4 years down the line, he's not even he's 25 years old, he's not even hit his prime still. Like this is why I think the owners are looking at that youth, looking at bringing in. It's not always specifically about now, even though I think Enzo will be now because he'll be played, but it's also about the new era as well and where we're going.
To be honest, sorry for interrupting. I mean, I just saw recently Sky Sports that they were talking about if Chelsea are going to be affected from these players, and they discussed that they can put all the players in the Champions League group included, because there is like a list A and a list B, and in the list B they're included like players under the age of 21, which all of them can be registered in the team.
Exactly.
So this is like a benefit.
Yeah, exactly, and that on top of all of that, which we keep forgetting, is that we also got told that if Chelsea sell one homegrown player, they're in profit this month. This is without the Enzo Fernandez signing, by the way, but they would be in profit because of the way that we're setting up installments on the payments of these players. They're
doing quite a good job.
Like the fact that Bowley, the baseball owner, has come over here and managed to find a loophole when you've got all these experienced football clubs with the hierarchies and executives and sporting directors, and they've not once sat them thought through how they can, not do it in a way where it's dangerous, but make business work for them so that they can be, successful moving forward. And yet he's come here and done that with Egg Batley. I think you got to take your hat off to him. Yeah, it might shoot us in the bum later on if it doesn't work, and that's the big question, because you're stuck with players that are tied to 6-7 year contracts, and I get that, but I still think they were selling for an investment to a degree because of their age.
Unfortunately, if he doesn't work, it's going to be like a Havertz, right? If we spent 75 on Havertz, we're going to sell him for 40 at best or 50. So it's one of those, right? What I'm getting from at least this panel is everybody's very, very confident. There's no fear of almost every signing we've made over 60, 70 million has flopped, has failed. If you look at our top 10 signings list, none of them have worked, right?
Yeah,
so,
because we've gone for players without actually thinking
I hear all of this, right? And
we know this, right? Half of what we bought last time there was no plan behind it. There's a plan behind it now, isn't there?
Okay, even if you have a plan, you can still fail buying players, even if there's a plan.
At least there's an ambition and a motive to try and push through a project.
And more importantly, like you're bringing
you're talking about something else, right? You're talking about the project or believing in the board. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying I'm a little weary when you spend this amount of money, because there's a lot that goes into it. There's the mental aspect.
Yeah, I get that.
The mental aspect affecting someone like
Yeah,
Cucurella, who moved from Brighton to Chelsea for 75 million.
I agree.
Cucurella's going.
By the way, I agree
Cucurella's
with
going
you,
through
so.
family stuff.
I
That's what I'm
agree.
saying.
I
There's
agree with
mental,
what you're saying.
There's
Daniel.
mental aspects of things. We understand this, right? That the media hates us. Do we
Yeah.
understand that?
Yeah,
right?
of course we do. Yeah.
So if he doesn't work, you know they're gonna kill him, right? Every single day.
Yes.
Or if he starts slow,
Understandably.
do we know what that does? Do we know if he's mentally at that level to handle it?
Are you
He's
talking
out-
about the?
It's
Are you
not
talking about the
forgetting
same
his
guy? Oh, go
Argentinian
ahead.
as well, you know, like this guy's an he's an you know, like
That's what I said. That's what I said.
the
He's got that
mentality of
South
the
American
player
heart.
itself. Yeah, exactly.
I hear you,
Care
man.
about that.
Are you talking
know?
about the same 21-year-old that played with his idol in his last World Cup with all that pressure on him?
Stop it. We saw Götze score the World Cup winning goal, and then he just
What
dropped.
does Götze have to do with anything? You're not
saw
understanding.
James-
No. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You're talking
I didn't
about
understand.
No, you're not, because you brought up
Greatest player
Götze. I don't care about Götze. I'm talking about in general. You're talking about the best player in his last World Cup, his last chance, and you're talking about pressure. He had all the pressure. He's 21 years
He
old.
wasn't the best player in the last World Cup. What are you talking about?
What? I didn't say. Listen to what I'm saying. Messi, the best player of all time, or one of the best players of all time, goes into his last World Cup with 0 World Cups. There is crazy pressure on this whole Argentinian squad. You bring in Enzo Fernandez, who was just playing from River Plate, and you're talking about pressure?
Yeah,
this sounds good. This sounds really nice.
Like, bro, he'll be more than fine in that situation. And more
I
importantly,
don't worry about Enzo Fernandez. This is what I was about to say. When it comes to the pressure and this, that, and the other, I'll be honest with you. I've watched this boy on the pitch, and I didn't know, right? I didn't even look at his age at this point, but the matureness of how he played in that World Cup, how well he's played in Champions League football, the biggest competition, arguably in football, yeah. In a Benfica team, which you could argue is nowhere near the levels of what Chelsea are pushing to be, and what we're trying to do, and whatever. He's only going to be playing with better players, Dan. He's only going to be surrounded by better players, yeah. And then on top of that, he's going to grow in experience. He's 21. I think the worries of, the mentality side, it might get a bit this, and we've seen it with Havertz and whatever. I get that. I understand all of that. I get it. But I just think we're moving in a completely different direction now. Yes, we need to wait and see whether it's successful. That's the truth. We don't know. We don't know if it's successful. But in terms of what we're trying to do up to this point, I think we should be quite what's the word? Happy to a degree. That we're actually acting upon a neglected area like midfield that we've left since 2018, and trying to actually bring in priorities rather than going out and buying players that are third choice, fourth choice players. These are priorities, right? This is what they want. They've made it clear they've wanted this guy the whole of the January market. And it doesn't stop there, because they know they need other midfield. Getting Enzo Fernandez is not midfield solved. It's the beginning of moving forward with this midfield, and they will bring someone else in. Of course they will.
And I think what you're saying is basically have trust in the scouting team that they've scouted all these.
They're here for a reason.
To be able to, and I mean,
I think.
Excuse me. We're just having a conversation about different sides of what could happen and what couldn't happen. Me, and the comments needs to know this. Me voicing my opinion is not going to make Bowley pay or not pay. I'm just giving a different perspective of it, right? We can't all be just a fucking echo chamber.
I agree.
We're like, get Enzo. It's a different outlook to it, right? I'm not saying I'm right and he's not going to come here and kill it. He might come in and just completely just kill this fucking league, right? But my only thing is I'm a little weary because a lot of these guys who came in for a high price that flopped, it wasn't because they weren't talented. It wasn't because they weren't really good players. There were other factors to it, right? And
this is the project and the system that they were walking into.
Yeah, project. Not even that. Like, imagine. Yeah. Remember when we got a couple players, right? Like when we first got Hazard, and we got the KDB, right? It was two different. They were at two different levels, right? They both came into Chelsea, massive pressure. Hazard's mentality was at a different level. He just knew he was that good, and he just played like it. It didn't matter that we had a rookie coach who was poor. None of that mattered. He was him. KDB was a little different. He needed to go out on loan. He needed time, and it took him a few years to get to that point. It took him until he was about 23 or 24 to get to that mental level where he thought he was the best in the world. So it can happen differently for different players. My only fear with him is if it takes him 2 or 3 years to get to that point, which he can, right? In those 2 or 3 years, he can be broken down so much by the media, by our fans. Our fans are very fickle. Right now, they all love it. If he comes in and he struggles for the first 5, 10 games, they switch up on him, right? So all those levels of things where, you know, it might take him a year, it might take him 2 years, and in that year or 2 years, think of Tchouaméni when he went to Real Madrid. The Real Madrid fans were killing him the first couple of months.
But you can't
You know
tell me guy who, I don't think a guy who has played in the World Cup and changed everyone's thoughts and ideas and coming to an Argentina team where Messi expects 100% of everyone, that pressure. You can't tell me a guy doesn't. You can't believe in that. You can't tell me that I don't think this guy has confidence and what mentality. The mentality in this guy's game, in this guy's body language when he's on the field, it just shows it, man. I don't know what you are bugging about, but
if you're a better reader of it than me, I don't. My only thing is I don't know, right? I don't know. I haven't watched him. I've only seen him during the World Cup.
I don't watch him.
A lot of players.
I think during the World Cup that should have been enough. If you know football, if you know what football is all about,
I've watched a lot of World Cups. I've seen a lot of young players completely tear it up. And I've seen them go back to their leagues and be mediocre and not kick on to be.
Go and look at his last 2 to 3 games, Dan, if you can. Go and watch like highlights.
He's carried on that form. He's carried on that form after the World Cup.
And he did it before. And he did it before. He was literally.
You know what it is? One of the reasons why I'm saying this is that I watched his game after we made the bid for him. I watched the Portuguese. I don't watch these type of leagues because one, I don't have time, and 2, it's pointless for me, right? So, but I actually watched his game. He played completely terrible. Like, it was one of his worst. It was a horrible game.
What game was that?
It could be because like right after we made the bid. Right after
I remember what you're saying. Yeah. That's the game everyone was saying his head's turned and all that.
Right. People are posting clips on Twitter and all these different things. What does that tell you? That it could mean nothing, that he was having just a bad day and it was like a coincidental. Oh, it could mean like he could be affected by things like that. It could be affected, coming in and the fans aren't behind you because you've had a couple poor games, or your.
But he also responded though, Dan, didn't he? And that's
it could.
He responded. He responded though, didn't he? That's the thing.
I see what you're saying, but like at the end of the day, he had one bad game, but like you're gonna your mind's gonna be elsewhere when a huge club bids for you and you tell the club that you're gonna you basically know in your mind that you want to go to this club. Like and like Jem said, he had a good game right afterwards, and ever since he's pledged to Benfica, his loyalty, he's actually been balling. He had 2 assists the game where he pointed to his badge saying that he was going to stay for Benfica, and in the last game that he played, I watched, he played pretty well.
That is why these players, even some of them, let alone a game, they don't even come to trainings because they know they will not give it their all when it is something else in their head. Not even a match, even a training, they won't give it their all. That's why they dodge around the trainings. Like Anthony Gordon did it with even Gakpo. When the player, when he knows something is wrong with him, he will not perform. Even Messi, even Ronaldo, you can be any player. When something is not right, you won't perform.
You guys know how Hazard was linked to Real Madrid for like 6 years or 4 years while he was here?
Yeah, but that didn't deter him.
Exactly.
But that's way different. That's such a bad comparison, man.
Yeah.
He's at Benfica. He is at Benfica, my dude. Like Hazard's at Chelsea.
Damn, just relax, my bro. Like, not everything is. I'm not gonna find you a 1v1 comparison for you in football. And even if I did, you're gonna say it's not this. I understand how you feel about his mentality. I still have my worries. And that's it. You guys can move on.
But Hazard was winning Premier League titles. He doesn't care where he goes to.
Let me ask you this, Dan.
This guy is in Benfica.
Who do you not have worries about in the world of football coming into this Chelsea midfield?
Killing Mbappe.
You're still stuck in the Roman era. You're still stuck in the Roman era. You think right? Okay, because he's an established player, world-class player. That means it's gonna work. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And just look at the players that we've brought in. Badiashile has stepped in there, kept his place, kept Koulibaly out of the team. He's coming after the upstairs has been sorted out. You've got Mudryk. Mudryk, half an hour. You can clearly see what's happening there.
Before he came on. I'm sure he had the same beliefs of Modric before he even came on against Liverpool.
We
He
just,
had
Yeah.
that of
That we're looking
maybe
into it
maybe not
way
maybe.
too deeply, way
I
too
just
deeply.
asked,
Of course, every player can flop, but
Now let
I
us
if you
ask
look at the
what he
players that
thinks
we've
of
brought in
Modric.
already and how they've played, you can see that there's a big change
yeah,
here already.
I just
Okay, you don't have to
asked
extrapolate everything, right? Because Modric has played 30 minutes. Relax, okay? So just relax a little bit.
Dan, you're always
And
you
João
are.
Felix has played 60,
Hey,
but they've
Dan,
still played better than a lot of these attackers we've had the
Both
past
of
few.
them,
Yeah.
they
you
both
know what you're
come
on.
So
out.
You're a fan that likes sitting on the fence. That's fine. You know, you're not sure what to. You don't want to get excited over things because of you being burnt in the past and what you've seen with Chelsea in the past. I get it. Most Chelsea fans are built like that to a degree. They worry about
No,
big
most
signs.
Chelsea fans get excited about everything.
Yeah, you get excited. You get some that are not excited. You know, me and you have had this discussion about João Felix. We're both on the same wave with that, aren't we? You know, like we need to see more. Yeah, I mean, Didishan with the donation says, I prefer Enzo this than two average mids, is what he says there. Bowley on fire is what he's saying there. Pies is saying Felix and Mudryk better performances than anyone in our team this season, is his opinion on that. Oh, I mean, I need to see a full game, Pies. I'm excited from what I've seen, little parts of it, but you know, I need to see more. You know, I need to see more on that one. Dan, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You're not overly excited as maybe others are in terms of what he can bring. I can kind of. I've had this feeling about Enzo Fernandez before he was even linked to him. You can go back on my Twitter. I've been saying that that's the guy I want at Chelsea. So I could kind of see in my head how he works at Chelsea and what he brings and what I think will help us moving forward in terms of the transition, in terms of the being able to pick a pass and being ahead of the game before it, you know. And I've seen him do it so many times for Benfica. He will know where he's going to make the pass before he receives the ball. He always looks before he receives the ball, and I like them type of players. I like them type of players because they're the type of players we don't have. Look how we play at the moment with our midfield. Sideways, backwards. And then the forward line don't make any runs because they know they're not going to get it. So they go to the ball because they're not confident in their midfield and playing balls over the top or so they can make runs. With Enzo Fernandez in the team, I'm telling you now, playing with him in training and how he picks them out and how good he is at picking out from the deep line, they will start making runs. We will be more effective going forward with him in the team. He will create. He will pick up passes that we don't see. Trust me, there's a lot that he brings that we do not have at Chelsea at the moment.
No, 100%. Like we can talk about his skill set, right? Like everything I've said is ancillary stuff, right? Is how he transfers into the league, the pressure of playing for Chelsea, which I think is heavier than anywhere else, really. Like we're just a different club. You can be great everywhere else and come here and that pressure kills you, right? So I get all that. Now, when we just talk about his talent level, I'm excited about that. If he's able to block everything out and he's able to just perform as we've seen him play, you know, up to this point at Chelsea, it's a great asset for us. Number one, him being able to pick runners. That's a massive thing, right? Because we don't have anybody who consistently looks up and finds runners. And when you have the fastest player in the freaking league, you need that, right? Because he's, you know, when you've paid for somebody who is incredibly quick, who's, you know, and so you want somebody who's always going to look for that pass at all times. So he's comfortable on the ball. He has a strong body. He has that dog in him. You know what I mean? Like he's going to fight. I've seen that, right? I've seen all these things. My worry is not about his talent or, you know, his skill set.
His mentality.
Yeah, because you're coming to Chelsea, you're going to be the main guy. You're going to be the best midfielder at Chelsea once you come in. But all the pressure is on you. So that's the main thing that I'm worried about, not his skill set, because people only look at skill set like and think, oh, that's it. Like all you need is that skill set. How is it going to translate? There's a little more to that, you know. So that's it.
Okay. I hear you, bro. I hear you. I'm just reading something that someone sent me on Twitter. Look, we've got a Benfica fan in the chat. I'm just reading it now, mate. I'm just reading it now. I want to hear his thoughts on it. Fred Moniz. Tell us what you feel of Enzo Fernandez as a Benfica fan. It'd be good to hear his thoughts and opinions on it. I'm just going to read his comments quickly. Facts, Daniel. Thanks for speaking the facts, is what Couch Critic says. JP says it as well. He will be another Ross Barkley. Let's not do that. That. Let's not do this. Let's not do this stuff. I'm telling you. No, I hear you guys. I hear what you're saying. Whether it's true or not, and we get it done, we yet to be seen. We're going to wait. We're going to sit on the fence, shall we say, in many ways on Enzo to Chelsea. We're waiting for Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, Dagger, something to confirm it. I still don't think it's for now. I think it's going to be for the summer, in my opinion. But let's wait and see, right? Let's wait and see.
Exactly.
So
Trust in the process.
trust in the process, mate. Go on. What is there anything else anyone wants to say between all this?
Well, I just find it very interesting by recent reports that I see that Chelsea went to a military base, so the manager thought it would be a good thing about bonding the team and trying to put them back in track to realize who they need to be and to work together as a team, and hoping we can see more of that in Friday's game against Fulham, because we need points and we need to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and just to go back on what we were talking about earlier on, obviously we put in 100 million bid for 100 million euro bid plus player for Enzo Fernandez. Maybe part of the reason why we've gone in for the second bid, just thinking between the lines, is because that they rejected the first one. That's what I'm thinking as well. I don't think they want any player at Chelsea. I don't blame them.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, why would they want to bring fucking Jorginho in, or even someone else? But I agree. I mean, for me personally, if I would like to go for a swap deal, I will definitely go and give them Jorginho, but I'm not sure they're convinced of bringing a player such as him. I mean, he's not really the type of player that they're looking for, but it depends on Rui Costa, what he wants and what exactly he wants from the team that he's representing, because we know that he's a big fan of Benfica for a long time and he is one of their legends.
What I don't want us to do is panic. So if we can't get Enzo and they're just stuck with the release clause idea that we have to pay the release clause, no player, nothing, you just got to meet what we want. Yeah. If they do that, what I don't want to do is panic. And if the Caicedo thing is an option still, and obviously we know Brighton don't want to sell him, but Chelsea do offer and beat the Arsenal price. And I just hope it's not a 90 mil thing, because I'd rather us wait to the summer.
It's going to be too much.
Also hearing that Alexis McAllister might be an option as well as a last late thing from Brighton, which again,
it's not a bad thing, to be honest.
If they're asking 90 for Caicedo, they're going to ask for 100 for him. But if you're going to overspend, you might as well overspend for the player that you really want, that you wanted from the jump. And it looks like this is the guy Vivo wants. So, yeah, there's no point in spending an extra 30 million from what you bid for Caicedo. Just pay for Enzo if that's the guy that you really want, right? Like,
100%.
If he's the one you want, and you know, in a way, I said, at least about the money, you know, about certain guys coming to this league and it didn't really matter to them, right? So, you know, if he's the guy you want and you're 100% sure how he's going to work and you have a plan, like there's a clear plan, not just throwing him in the midfield by himself and he has to carry everybody who plays next to him, I'm all for it. Like, just pay the money. Don't not pay the money for him, but then pay that exact same amount for like a Caicedo. You know what I mean? If like it's 1-on-1, that's pointless.
Yeah, I agree. Fred Moniz says one of the best box-to-box midfielders for the past 10 years. His long passes are insane vision. He knows how to defend and attack, very intelligent. And that's a Benfica fan there with his comments. Thank you for giving us your thoughts, mate, on that as well. We've also got big up to Dread here as well. Sorry, Dead. Is it Dead in the Water? Sorry, Dead in the Water. Big up to you. We've also got this comment here that's come in from Sam Dean on an interview via De Zerbi on Caicedo. Basically says, I would like him to finish the season with us, but we are ready to go forward without him. So
I mean, they're willing to do everything. I mean, they already lost Graham Potter, they lost Trossard, and they're still progressing. So I don't think they got.
They've just signed a midfielder as well. Bearing in mind, they've just signed someone as well.
I don't feel like it's going to be a problem for them.
I don't know. I see Arsenal getting this done. If they put the money down, if they don't, then maybe you see Chelsea Football Club coming along and knocking on the door and doing it. But yeah, we'll have to see.
But let's not consider it yet. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Couch critic, before I finish off, what do you want to say, my man?
Yeah, big up, fellas.
Big up.
I'm optimistic, but I'm not ultimately 100% sure that this happens. This feels like another media plant, but
Yeah.
I don't know. If it happens, there's no way they're going to turn down that money. There's absolutely no way. That's crazy money, as Daniel alluded to. It's just ridiculous for a 21-year-old that hasn't really played a lot at the highest level. But with that said, market dictates price. You can't necessarily say that there are a lot of players that are like Enzo out there right now. That profile of player does not exist at, you can't get them at the market store. Like there's a lot of very few players that play at that level, that style of football. So I understand. What I am going to say though too, and this is just to echo again some of the comments here. Bowley must be like some sort of like riverboat gambler because he's investing a lot into players that we don't really know a lot about. Like there's just not a lot of
Data
Mm.
information on that.
analytics couch.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the analytics that they're using there and relying on that we don't have access to. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like you sign a player to 120 million euros, and even if you put him on like a 10-year contract, that could be a weight around your neck for a long, long time. So he's taking a lot of risks here. He's obviously excited and invigorated the fan base, both positively and negatively. So, maybe this is part of the plan just to get people excited about his project going forward. And I mean, to be honest with you, even without Enzo this window, this is probably going to be the best January window Chelsea have ever seen, without question, actually. Just the amount of players that we brought in, the level of excitement and anticipation about what these players can do for us. It's crazy. So the way I look at it, it's a big gamble, but I'm here for it, man. I don't know about you guys.
I hear
Definitely
you,
am.
mate. Go on.
Definitely am. I mean, for me, it's like I agree with you guys about the money. Like, don't get me wrong, but we're in a rebuild, and like you guys said, Bowley's a risk taker. With the Dodgers, he's kind of did the same thing, came in, and even though it's a different sport, if you have that type of confidence where you're part of successful organizations, I just think it's good to have that type of confidence rub off on a different project. So I'm definitely confident, at least, just because he's super confident with the amount of money he's putting in.
I'm just happy he trusts his team and he stepped away from being director of football once he realized like people don't kind of respect him in that role. They don't respect him in that role, so they're like offering, bullshit prices, not really trying to negotiate. We're hearing stories about club owners not respecting the way he's doing business, blah blah blah. So as a smart billionaire, he stepped away. He stepped away and had the person that he brought in just take over. And I think every signing in this January has been by his board, though this new board, right? You have a couple guys come from France. I think that's due to the influence of, I think it's Paul Mitchell.
Winstanley. He has Paul Winstanley. Also,
Lawrence
Stewart came from Monaco.
Paul Stewart, right? Badiashile is definitely his signing. You know what I'm saying? Because that he played under him. So and he probably has a little more outlook on the French league, and he went for Gusto too. So
Yeah, but Daniel, that's always been part of the plan, though. He wasn't supposed to be the director, of players when he came in. That was just a stopgap solution because he didn't have his structure in place yet. So
100%. But
so it's not really that deep, really.
You heard the story of like, oh yeah, he's getting comfortable in his position, he likes it, and all this shit. And I was getting worried, like, okay, he might actually stay as director of football. But once he stepped back, then I was happy. Okay, cool, finally.
Chelsea have now offered 120 million euros for Enzo Fernandez with an 80 million paid up front. Will this be accepted over to Rui Costa? That's what I've just been sent. I don't know how true that is, but
they're gonna sell him. I'm not worried.
If you think they'll accept it?
No, I think we're gonna find a deal. I don't know if it's at that price. Maybe it's 85 down, 90 down. I don't know, but I think it's gonna happen. So.
I don't know, man. I'm still on the fence. I just after what happened last time round, I don't know whether I can.
Bowley wouldn't come in for him,
I shouldn't really look past Bowley because of everything else he's done. But,
bro.
I don't know.
There's something there.
When Bowley wants something, he's gonna get it, bro. This dude, like you guys said, bro, he has ambitions. He's a madman. Like this dude's insane, bro. So I don't know. At this point,
not putting the money up. He puts the money up, then it's up to like the manager and everybody else to convince the player to come. Like even players that we agreed fees on and didn't come, the fees were there. For Koundé, the fee was there. For the Brazilian guy,
Rafinha,
the fee was there as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna put the fee down. Like,
You know what I'm saying? Like Gusto was, oh, maybe he's not gonna pay the 35 million. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. He ended up paying it, right? Or paying less and find out making a deal. Same thing's gonna happen here.
Yeah, and the reports with Gusto when it came out in the end, it said that our evaluation was like 17, 18 million. We doubled it. So like that's what type of timing he's on, like he doesn't. I mean, sometimes it might look a little naive, but like you guys said, we need a right back. So I don't care about the price. We have money, and that's exactly what he did. He's doing exactly what we're asking at the moment, which is kind of insane. That's why it kind of feels like a FIFA career, because every single time we kind of say something as a fan base, it feels like he just checks it off his checklist.
More important than the money invested is about the term of the deal. That's really what they're more after. They need to get these guys locked into long-term contracts in order to make these deals work. So I think that they're more focused on players that are willing to sign these long-term contracts than the actual dollar figure that's going to the other squads. It just seems that way.
Yeah, it's also the investment side as well, because if you have a player that's tied to 7 years and 4 years in, he quadruples, I don't know, like to say doubles his value because he becomes amazingly good, you've just made yourself a profit, right? As well. So I'm not talking about specifically Enzo, but I'm just talking about the way we've been doing deals up to this point, but we'll see.
On the other side of that, Jim, as well, like I'm sure you guys probably know a bit more because I don't follow like American sports. So with the Dodgers, from my understanding, Todd doesn't really care about taking, well, let me not say care, but in terms of taking a loss is something that is open to doing if it doesn't work out with certain players.
Yes.
So I get the concerns in regards to giving these long-term contracts, because if they do flop, it's like now you're tied down to a player for X amount of time. But then from my understanding, what I've been told from a lot of the Americans that join the streams is that Todd Bowley, he takes a loss if he has to. It's not something that he's not willing to do.
It's not even about the loss though, because if you talk about American sports, they like in baseball in particular, there's no cap there, right? Like you can just sink money.
Yeah, and then you eat it at the end.
But yeah, of course. But he has an appetite for that kind of stuff. But like in UEFA, like you have to be concerned about how you're spending. Maybe that's a part of the game that he hasn't really understood yet. He hasn't really come to grips with, because it's not necessarily the initial spend. It's going to be 3, 4, 5 years down the line where you can't move these players on because they flopped or whatever. Because like I said, I just think he's a riverboat gambler. I think this guy's just banking on his team to find him the right players. And I mean, I'm going to be guilty, but I think that they've done the right thing in terms of like the players that they've gone after. It's just whether or not these players continue to grow and flourish.
For it to work, well then fall on Potter, and this is why I say going into next season, the pressure's going to be on him because he's going to be given players. He's going to be given, and it's going to be how quick we've moved with it all as well. We've not done a slow transition. This has been quite a quick transition. I still think there's more to be done, obviously, with the midfield and the depth of it, but I don't think they equally want to be spending as much as they probably have done so quickly. So I think we'll have to see how we move forward from here. Guys, I do need to finish off though, but do me a favor, right? Let's go and raid Lorenz's channel, right? My mate Lorenz, my boy, you probably see me on there a couple of times. There's a link there taking you directly over to him now. He's live with CFC Pies and some other people as well. There's still over 850 people here. So everyone, if you can, copy and paste that link into your YouTube and go over to Lorenz now and go and say hello and say that we sent you. Say GNA TV sent you over here, Chelsea Fan TV sent you over as well, and go and show some support over there. They'll be talking more news on Enzo Fernandez as well. In the meantime, guys, smash the likes, subscribe. Big up to all of the panel that we're here as well. It's been a busy show as always. Weekend of shows. Probably be back at some point tomorrow to continue as we get closer to transfer deadline. We'll hopefully have some more news from the bigger tiers in regards to Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. Will we get it done before Tuesday transfer deadline day? We have to wait and see. But like I said, go and click that link now. I wanted to try and redirect you, but I can't do it. But go and click that link now. It'll take you right over to them. And we'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Take care.